What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, this week there wasn't really anything major going on in the news that I saw. I've seen people talking about them showing that they're getting ready to come out with the second Captain Marvel, and they've gone and changed it now. They put them together, and they're now calling them the Marvels, because apparently Captain Marvel can't stand on her own. We all know the reason for that. You know, Brie Larson is one of the shittiest actors there is. Plus, they don't even have the story right. The story's all jacked up. Captain Marvel is actually a man named Captain Marvel. He eventually does give his powers to Carol Danvers, but she doesn't become Captain Marvel until way later. She's actually Miss Marvel for the longest time, and the one who takes up the actual name or title of Captain Marvel is Monica Rambeau, the black girl, and she's Captain Marvel for a very long time. Eventually, Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, takes on the title, but not for a very long time. They're trying to introduce this new Miss Marvel that they just made up a few years ago. Some Latino girl or whatever. I think she's Latino. I don't know much about, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, whatever. It was never really that much of a thing for me. I know some of the backstory and the history of it. I do know with the X-Men, though, the character Rogue, she actually drains Carol Danvers of her powers and becomes Rogue. She basically steals her powers, and that kind of ends Carol Danvers, and that's why eventually she does get her powers back. I don't know how exactly, but somehow she does end up getting her powers back. But then again, still, she doesn't take on the mantle or title of Captain Marvel till way later. Anyways, if you've seen any of the pictures that they've been showing about the Marvels, especially the new Miss Marvel character, the little Latino girl, oh my God, it looks like cosplay. It's horrible. Absolutely terrible. God awful. Honestly, that's about the only thing I seen that they were talking about, except for they're trying to figure out how they're going to incorporate the new Fantastic Four into the MCU. They're talking about that too, and they're not sure exactly how they're going to do that. Honestly, though, most people the majority of people, the fans, they just don't give a fuck anymore. Disney, Marvel, whatever, they have the worst writers. They can't actually write about the original story. They gotta make up some bullshit and put some political crap in there, or something about feminism, or fucking BLM, or some type of narrative, or something, like they're trying to push shit on people, maybe some alphabet community bullshit, whatever. It always has some political crap in there. or religious crap, and it just doesn't work. And they failed over and over and over again. People are anticipating, waiting to see the huge bomb that's coming, that they're getting ready to lay with this Marvels. Everybody's expecting to see the new Blade go to crap because they're trying to turn it into a PG-13 movie, or just a PG movie, and that's not going to work either for Blade. It's just not going to happen. They'll bomb at that too if they do that. They go that route. So many horrible choices, terrible writers. They need to clean that house. They need to clean out the Magic Kingdom and put some actual people who know what they're doing in there, because nobody there knows. Kevin Feige and fucking Kathleen Kennedy, they have definitely got to go. They're the worst of the worst. But anyways, that's all the news that I really saw. It wasn't anything major going on. Let's just get on to your B-movie reviews. Alright, movie-holics, let's get on to your B-movie reviews. This week is Fantasy Week. The two movies I chose for this week are, there's only two of them. There's a sequel to the first one. You've probably heard of it. It's fairly popular. It used to be a TV show back in the late 50s, early 60s. It's called The Addams Family. The first one was done in 1991, and it pulled in about, almost 200 million at the box office, so it did quite well. It starred Angelica Houston, the late Raul Julia, Christopher Lloyd, and of course the fabulous Christina Ricci. There were quite a few other fairly well-known actors in this too. The first one basically is about Fester's been missing for a very, very long time. Nobody knows what happened to him. He went off on some type of vacation or something, in the Bermuda Triangle. He was going to go investigate the Bermuda Triangle for something. I can't remember what exactly it was. But he ends up getting lost and he disappears, and he ends up disappearing for many, many years. The family has this guy who kind of takes care of their financial situation, and he knows that the family has a hidden vault somewhere full of gold, and he's trying to find it because he wants to steal it from him. Unfortunately, he can't figure out where it's at. And then he gets a hold of this older woman who claims that her son looks just like Fester, and he could probably get in there and get the gold, or figure out where the gold is by pretending to be Fester. They go through all kinds of crap trying to get in there. It's hilarious. It's a comedy, horror slash fantasy. You know, it's more fantasy because it's more of the spooky type fantasy like Casper. You know, where it's not going to be like you know, extreme horror. It's more of a lighthearted horror fantasy type, family fantasy kind of thing, horror fantasy. Anyways, you know, they go through a lot of comical stuff trying to infiltrate this vault. Eventually they do find it, but towards the end, Christopher Lloyd finds out that he is actually Fester, and he'd been lost for a long time. He had amnesia. Something happened to him while he's looking for the vault, which causes him to start remembering what happened to him. And all ends well. The you know, the financial guy and this woman, they get busted and thrown in jail, and all ends well. It's a good movie. It's pretty funny. I liked it. I thought it was hilarious. Very whimsical as far as fantasy goes. I definitely highly recommend it if you're looking for you know, a good comedy, horror, fantasy type movie. I give it 2 thumbs up. This is a good movie, really good movie. Check it out. The next one is the sequel. It was called Addam's Family Values. It was done in 1993. Unfortunately, this one only made a little over 50 million at the box office. I don't understand what happened, how it dropped so low at the box office. It makes no sense to me. You have the same cast pretty much, except for you know, the Black Widow, the woman who plays the Black Widow. Again, you meet most of the family. You even meet Cousin It and all that. Yeah, you actually see him in the first one, but he comes back for this one too. In this one, it's a little different. Fester, being the oldest brother, he's actually all the money in the estate and everything, it all belongs to him being the oldest. And he's kind of been looking for love for a little bit. This woman shows up, and she pretends to be a babysitter, which Gomez and Patricia, they just had a child, so they introduce a third child to the Addams family. They need a babysitter, and they call the babysitting agency, and none of them are working out. They can't handle the children. This woman shows up. She does the research, finds out that Fester is worth billions, so she shows up looking for the gold. She's a Black Widow. She kills her husbands and then takes their money, blows it all, and then goes looking for another one. She sets her eyes on Fester. She eventually convinces him to marry her. She ends up, you know, basically taking over all the financial situation. So she basically kicks the Addams family out on their butts, you know, making them homeless. Um, but eventually, everything's found out, and she ends up killing herself towards the end, like an idiot. So ends up saving the day, and Fester comes back with the family, and everything's hunky dory again. Uh, I didn't think this movie was all that bad. It wasn't as great as the first one, of course, but it's still, as a sequel, it wasn't really that bad. I thought it was actually pretty decent. Uh, I recommend you watching it if you're going to watch the first one, because it's actually fairly good. I give it 2 thumbs up. Good, decent movie. Comedy, horror, fantasy, whimsical fantasy. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. Like I said, I don't understand why it dropped so low at the box office, because it was actually a fairly decent movie. It was fairly funny. So I didn't get that, but whatever. Good movie. Check it out if you want. That's all I have for you this week. If you have any thoughts or you know, anything you would like to add about what I was talking about earlier with the whole new Disney Marvels setup and the whole Marvels crap and how they're bringing Fantastic Four about and all that junk. You know, they failed with you know, Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was terrible. It wasn't really that great of a show. Like I say, it would have been fine if they left all the political crap out, but they couldn't do it. Anyways, tell me if you're looking forward to any of the crap or garbage that they're getting ready to put out. Leave your thoughts down in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. And then, you know, if you have any suggestions or, you know, underrated movies, B movies that you think I might not have ever heard of that's actually pretty good, leave your suggestions down in the comments down below, and I will get around to reviewing them as soon as I can. Until then, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.